Sawadee krap, and welcome to Phuket Extra. Extra will catch you up with the top 5 stories of the week. Now, the biggest story this week has by far been the horrific, tragic story that happened in Saku at an abandoned building where a man used Facebook Live to broadcast the death of not only himself, but his baby 11-month-old daughter. Let's take a look at the rest of the top 5. And allegations that police in Mae Hong Son province are running a prostitution ring with teenage trafficking victims. It's prompting a response by the governor of the province as he denies buying sex. Governor Suipsek Iam Wachan has been in office since October of last year, but he's now being investigated after some of the victims told investigators that he was one of the senior state officials for whom they serviced, an allegation he vehemently says is false. Just yesterday, a police senior sergeant major who was part of the local police in Mae Hong Son, he was arrested in human trafficking charges along with 2 women believed to be the pimps of the operation, accused of forcing teenage girls to work as prostitutes, paying 1,000 baht per client. As the investigation continues, arrest warrants are currently being sought for 3 local policemen believed to be involved in the illicit trade. To allow for the beach ecology to recover, officials are considering temporarily closing the world-famous Maya Bay at Phi Phi Islands National Park. The chief of the Department of National Parks, Wildlife and Plant Conservation say they're looking into closing the world-famous beach in the middle of the monsoon season this year, from July to September, when the least amount of tourists arrive. Boats transporting nearly 5,000 daily visitors during peak season, which is over double Maya Bay's capacity, it's caused damage to the coral reef. And officials say the move was considered after nearby Yung Island was closed for nearly 2 years to allow for their marine resources to recover, which has seen massive improvement. And authorities will now seek an arrest warrant for the 31-year-old heir to the Red Bull empire, Vorayut Boss Uvidya, who failed to show up against yesterday for a hearing on the 2012 death of a police officer. Boss is being accused of running over and then dragging the body of Police Senior Sergeant Major Wichian Glamprased with his Ferrari, and the officer died at the scene in Bangkok. This was 5 years ago, and he has yet to face justice in the case. Yesterday's hearing was the 8th time Boss skipped out on the meeting saying he's busy with work. But prosecutors, after 5 years, have finally had enough and are now seeking an arrest warrant. Vorayut is said to be living in the United Kingdom, which has an extradition treaty with Thailand, though many in the kingdom believe the case is the epitome of Thailand's inability to bring members of the country's wealthy class to justice. And a 61-year-old witch doctor in Chiang Mai is now dead after he was shot in the anus 15 times by a hitman who was hired by a family who wanted revenge. But there's so much more to this story. Witch doctor Sangmani Jaratva was hired by members of the Racharom family to allegedly lift a curse on a family member who was unable to accurately and easily defecate. But 3 members of the Racharoem family sought the 100,000 baht fee. It was a little too high though, and it led them to believe that this witch doctor was the same person who placed a curse on their father, Sompon, a decade ago, who died of also not being able to defecate properly. The family members confessed to the killing, telling police they paid a hitman 3 million baht to kill the witch doctor Sangmani. A tragic story here in Phuket as a man hung his 11-month-old daughter before doing the same thing to himself yesterday, and it was all broadcasted on Facebook Live for the world to see. We'll start at the beginning, as the 21-year-old mother of the baby told police that earlier in the day at about 3 a.m., her 20-year-old boyfriend Wutisang De Wongtele had threatened to kill her, and she ran away from the house in fear, but she left her baby girl, Beda. It wasn't until later in the day when the Facebook Live video was posted at about 5:45 p.m. that the mother learned of her daughter and boyfriend's fate. As the video shows, the boyfriend tying a rope around the baby's neck, then lowers her down of an abandoned building, and you heartbreakingly hear the crying stop. He then does the same thing to himself. This all happened in Saku near Naitong Beach, and now police believe it was all an act of jealousy, though they are still investigating. For more details, visit thephuketnews.com. Well, that's it for Phuket Extra today. For the rest of the weekend, please wear your helmet and drive safely out there. Monday is Labor Day, so we will be off. But catch us again on Phuket Extra on Tuesday, where we'll catch you up with all the news you missed over the weekend. Until then, stay classy, Phuket.
Buongiorno.
Bonjour.
Hey! Assalamualaikum warahmatullah.
Buenos días.
Nin hao.
Здравствуйте.
Привет.
Guten Tag, ich spreche Deutsch.
สวัสดีครับ
We are ready to provide international medical service with warm Thai hospitality. Call us at 1719.